Hey everyone, just wanted to give you an update on what's been happening with the kitchen. It's been a couple of weeks and we had the kitchen countertops installed. The guys did a really good job. I just got back and started installing some of the appliances and I didn't document it. I just got really excited about doing it and getting it put in and trying some of the items out because I haven't tried them out since I bought them almost 6 to 8 months ago, if not longer. Actually, I got them in December. It's been almost 9 months since I actually got them. So these are the countertops. We are really pleased with it. We went with a honed finish, so it's smooth, but it's not highly reflective. It does have somewhat of a sheen, kind of a satin sheen, so it kind of looks more like a kind of a concrete look to it. But it is a granite, and it's black mist is what it's called. It actually is from Triton, and I believe they're in lots of parts of the country. So Triton Industries, I think, is what it is. And the installer that we used was really good. They I asked them to laminate another section of it. So this is much thicker than typically what you'd see in a granite countertop. And I just really like the real thick look of it. So what they do is they actually take probably about a 3-inch section, and they laminate it and glue it to the bottom of it, and then they polish it off so you can hardly see the seam. But it basically just makes it look a whole lot thicker than it is, and it does actually add a whole bunch of weight to it, because there was, I want to say, about four big guys that were carrying these slabs in, and they were struggling with 4 people putting that on. So it's really, I was really surprised at the weight of that granite. It definitely isn't moving anywhere. And they did a good job on the seams. You know, they turn the radius, the corners, and then the seam is right after the radius. So that's kind of how they did that. And then there's a seam also right here. So we were really pleased with the way it turned out. And here's the copper sink that we picked out. Have some issues with the copper sink. As you can see, I have a level here, and my wife and I noticed as we stepped back from the counter, just kind of admiring it after the guys had left, and we noticed that it seemed like the sink was crooked, that it was, you know, not mounted properly if you look at the way it's setting. And I said, well, let me take a look at and put a level in the sink, and as you can see, it's out of level. And the problem is that it's not sloping towards the drain. It's actually sloping over here, so it's deeper on this side than it is here, and it's about 1/4 of an inch deeper on that side than it is on this side. So that is a real big problem, because water is not going to drain into the drain hole. So I have contacted the manufacturer of the sink, and I sent them some photographs of what, you know, I'm seeing, and they've been, you know, we filed a claim, basically a warranty claim, that it was, you know, a manufacturer defect. But it's just one more thing that I have to do that I don't need to do that. But the company that I bought it from didn't really put up much of a fight or anything like that, which was great. They provided pretty decent customer service since I let them know that, you know, there was a problem with it. And so they're sending me another one, and it should get here within the next couple days, and I'll go ahead and change it out then. So once I got the counters installed, I started working on the countertop, and as you can see, I worked on the cooktop and the downdraft vent. So the first part that I had to work on was actually installing the downdraft And so I had to get it plumb. So it had to be plumb front to back, because it would want to tilt, you know, back and forth this way when you set it in there. The weight of it kind of let it tip this way, so you had to pull it up, and then you had to attach a few brackets. So there's a bracket here, and it has some adjustments so you can pull it in or out to get it to be plumb. There's another one on the other side there that I had to attach and make plumb. And then there's some brackets up top which don't actually attach to the vent. It just kind of keeps it in place to push it up against the granite. It just pushes it up against there on that side, and it pushes it up against on the other side, just to kind of keep it in place. So that was installed, and then I added the metal boxes for the 110 outlet, and then the 220 box for the cooktop. So I installed those, wired it up, and then I attached this little plug that actually makes the vent go up and down. So here is the actual controller. That's just a wired controller that you can turn it on and off, which basically on makes the vent go up, and then off, you press it again and it goes back down, and then you can adjust the fan speed on either one of these. I can show you how the vent works. And this is a GE product, and I think that's on low speed. The next one up, and then one more, and that's high. And if you press it one more time, that turns it off, and then you can lower it back down. So it works pretty good. Haven't gotten a chance to really use any of this stuff yet. We did fry an egg with this when I first got it started, just because I wanted to test it out. But I haven't even really read the instructions all that much. I just kind of figured out you power it up by doing that, and then you can take this magnet and adjust where you want it to work, and you just spin it to change the temperature up and down. Or you don't have to use the magnet at all, and you can just use your finger if you like. So it really depends on what you care for. What I really liked about it was that this top itself didn't have any knobs. This just allows you to wipe everything clean. That was one of my key things, is trying to make things easier and simpler to keep clean and easy to deal with. So that was one of the reasons why I got it. And this is an induction top. We've had in our previous house, we had electric cooktops that were surface type cooktops, but not an induction. So this is our first induction model that we've purchased. Partly because it was supposed to be to where it wasn't hot to the touch, other than when you're putting the pan on there. But we'll have to see how that actually is in real life, and not just in some marketing brochure that they have. So that's the top. And then the next thing that I did was installed the oven. So you have, this is a Samsung unit, just like this is a Samsung unit. This is actually this one is the bottom oven. It's a convection oven. It also has a partition that you can put in the middle to make two sections. So you have two fans. So you can actually create basically two separate ovens for two different temperatures. So if you have something cooking on the bottom and you want something on top that's a little hotter and that you need to, change, you can put that partition in there and actually create basically two ovens, even though the size of it is, the size of one oven right now. We would hardly ever use. We were thinking of doing a double oven, and that was our initial intent, but we just kind of felt that, except for, like the Thanksgiving time period when we need to have, you know, a lot of space for ovens, that we wouldn't necessarily need it. So we ended up going with a microwave. But this microwave is actually hopefully takes the place of you know, this. So it is a convection oven and a microwave, and it can do broiling all in one thing. It's got a huge book that we have to go through and learn about. So we'll have to go through it and learn. I don't really know anything other than, you know, maybe I was setting the time. So you have your Wi-Fi settings because it's all smart done, as well as the cooktop is a smart cooktop. So you can control it from your phone if you want to. I don't have it turned on. You can change the display settings, the brightness, the screensaver. You can change the clock theme to different clock themes. So you can make it look like the old electronic clocks, or, you know, more of a contemporary digital, or you can go with the more analog type of clock. But we chose the old school look, kind of like that, and it gives you, you know, the date, the time, the day, and so we kind of went with that one. This is the top of the line Samsung, and we went with the black stainless because we didn't like the way that the regular stainless smudges and marks. And then we also went with the black stainless refrigerator. So not the top of the line one for Samsung. They had one that had like this huge screen here that you can have a calendar in, and I mean, I don't know why you would need a tablet on your refrigerator. It just seems kind of pointless, but it's just more stuff that would break, I kind of think. But so we, you know, have the water and the ice maker. It actually is the 4-door, so you can control whether or not this is a refrigerator or a freezer. So you can have both of these as freezer below, or just one of them if you want more refrigerator space. You can adjust the temperatures, so, you know, if you have something that you're wanting to have really in deep freeze at 0 degrees, you can have it. Or if you want stuff that, like meats that you're going to use later but not want them completely hard as a rock, you can make it the setting a little, you know, like 20 degrees rather than 0 degrees. Everything fit perfectly in terms of the cabinet fitting, the oven fitting in there. It slid in perfect. I didn't have any issues whatsoever, thank goodness. All my measurements worked out fine. The only issue that I'm running into now, and I just didn't anticipate it, when you open this up, it goes really close to it. And I actually have space in back to slide this refrigerator further back in so that it's more flush. And that was the idea, but if I put it any further back, this door is going to hit the handle of the oven door, and it's going to dent the refrigerator, and it's going to look like crap. Had I known about that issue, I probably would have added the 2.5-inch poplar board all the way down, pushed everything over a little bit on each side, so that I'd have basically 5 inches all the way down, so that give myself enough space for it to open and close without, you know, running into it. But at this point, I have what I have, so I can't change it. We just have to work with what we got. But it's not a huge deal. But for now, that's kind of what's happening. Getting close, and, you know, just trying to continue to plug away to try to get it done. So I will update you next time I'm doing something, hopefully very soon. All right.